Hello friends, welcome back. We're almost done with our Sakura Densya book Nook build, and today we're going to finish it together. I'm so beyond excited for this. It's been a few hours of build. ChatGPT said that this is supposed to take 10 hours. I thought we could finish it even quicker. It does actually take 10 hours, so if you're planning to do this yourself, just so you know, it should take around that time. This is an intermediate build. I am a complete beginner, so keep that in mind if you are a beginner as well. This is more of an intermediate. It's completely doable, I think. We'll finish it up today. It just takes a little bit of time, which is completely fine. I think it's looking really, really good, and I am so excited to finish it together. It's just final assembly for today, and we're going to talk about tips towards the end. So let's finish this up, light it up, and talk about tips. Also, before we jump in, one last thing. I am wearing an outfit that is inspired by an anime character. So let me know if you know who is inspiring the shirt and the earrings. Put it in the chat, or if you're watching this later on, you can put it in the comments too. Let's see if you can tell who I am inspired by. All right, let's jump in. Okay, so here is where we were last time, and this is how it's looking so far. We have basically everything built out. Last time there were a little bit of struggles as things were falling out. So quick early tip for our friends here. Definitely make sure you're pushing things completely in as you're building this. And also glue them if it's not looking or feeling stable. So right now I already see there's like one little top roof that is still coming out, so I'm going to take this out, I'm going to glue it, and we'll put it back in. Make sure that this sticks. I am so excited for how this is going to look towards the end. And I also have some tips in terms of lighting that I learned last time that I will share at the end also. I am just going to put this one back in and hold it so that the glue sticks. It's in the right spot. All right, and it's holding steady. Perfect. I do like that these kits are pretty forgiving, to be fair. So I've made some mistakes throughout the way. Again, beginner here. And I've been able to correct them pretty easily. Glue has been super helpful. I'm already kind of talking about tips as we go. But I feel like these kits are really, really fun. They just take some time, of course. Okay, so let's see where we are. So we're going to put our H2 in. Towards the back. And make sure we're pushing this in. Whoop. to align them correctly and push it in. All right. And our back is in. I will need to use these tiny screws to screw it in. So let's do that. These screws can be a little finicky because they're so small. So expect some trial and error here. We're going to need 2 of them. And we'll put this down and screw it in. What I mean by a little bit of trial and error. Small screws. I was randomly thinking about how to make these screws a little bit easier to put in, and I almost feel like if you put a little bit of glue on it and then try to screw it in, it would be a little bit easier. Maybe let's test this out. Just for it to stick to the screwdriver a little bit more and not wobble around. Let's see if this works. Definitely keep looking at what you're doing so that you don't accidentally break something. But actually that worked pretty well, like putting a little bit of glue and then putting the screwdriver in. Of course, clean it up a little bit afterwards. But yeah, maybe there are other tips if you've done this that you found helpful. If so, definitely share it. I'd love to hear anything that you've done that's been helpful for you. Okay, so screw it in. Let's put J3 on top. There is a film on these that we need to remove. Oh, it's so pretty with the sakura blossoms. And it looks like we're putting this on top. Let me make sure it's the right angle here. All right. Are we supposed to glue it? We are supposed to glue it. Let's put some glue in. Yeah, final part. So beyond excited. It's been a few hours of build, so I cannot wait to see how this looks at the end. There is a little hole to put it through here, and then on top. All right, we'll hold, make sure that it stays. So, I was saying earlier, I haven't seen in the chat yet, that I am inspired by an anime character for the sweater and the earrings. Can you guess who I'm inspired by? And we're done with putting the top here. Final page. So exciting. We have this top that we're going to be putting in. Make sure it's the right side, and it is. And now we're going to push it in. It's not completely aligned, so there's a little bit of breakage. Let's see if I can push it in. There you go. Not bad. Up. This one fell. So let's do this. Before we put this in, let me glue this. One of the tricks that I've found is if things are not stable and they're coming apart, adding a little bit of glue. One of my watchers and friends from the very first day, I think, gave me this tip about building. Just use glue if it's not stable. And since then, glue has been a lifesaver. So Camille, shout out to you. Okay, let's let this dry for a bit. Let me double check that we're still okay. All right. Perfect. I think this should be dried now. Okay, perfect. So let's try again. Align, 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 align. Oh gosh, that popped a little bit when it went in, and that scared me a bit, but we're good. There is a part that's like a little bit popping here. Try to push that in. Okay. I was trying to be careful and my hand completely slipped. Ah! Chaos. Nothing broke though, we're good. Wow, it is coming together. All right, very last step. Let's find B22 with B23. B23, this way, and put this one in. I really wonder where this tiny piece is going to go. It almost feels like something that I should have put earlier, but it's definitely step 31, so let's get this show on the road. In case I don't remember this, something else I've found is for the tiny pieces like this, putting it down and then pushing it in is helpful. I feel like I'm just also giving tips as we go, some bonus tips. Put I5 on top. Up. Something I'm not great at is double checking the direction, and that is super important. I've had to redo a few because of that, including this one right here. But again, I'm just really happy that these kits are pretty forgiving if you need to redo something. And then let's put a little sakura blossom on top. C19. Now I understand why it's the last part, because it goes right in front. That makes complete sense. Push that in. I do want to put a little bit of glue on it just because it's in the front. And I feel like I found that it's good practice just to make sure it's extra stable. Let's push this in. Perfect. Alrighty. Align it. Alright. And then there's a little piece E24 that we're putting down here. Again, for the directions, I'm just making sure that I have the right angle. Something I learned I definitely need to double check. Push this in, perfect. And then there's a little P6 that we're going to put. Okay, so there's E4, E7, and then we're going to put P6 on top. So let's find that. E4, E7. The good thing is that it's really easy to find these pieces because, I mean, they're the last pieces left. So there's not really that much searching left. Angle, there we go. This way. put E3 on top of that. Again, one of the last pieces remaining. Angle. I say angle, yet sometimes I still have to flip. There you go. Okay. And this one goes on top. There you go. And P6 is going to hold it all together for the top parts. Let's grab that. Let's glue this a little bit. Whenever something breaks or falls, I just glue it to stabilize it. Hold for a bit. And this is the very, very last step that we're doing, and we are completely done. So let's put this and our E6. I'm going to push it through the first, and then I'm going to push it through the whole thing. There you go. And we put that right in the front. Ta-da! And we are all done with our build. Wow. Okay. So let's put in some batteries for lighting, and let's light this up. There was a previous step where we put in the batteries, so if you just left your batteries in there, then you can just directly light it up. Had to get new batteries, so I have to put them in there now. And let's talk about the lighting tip now. You turn it on here. And my biggest thing is, it was not, aha, see, this came out, so I need to glue this. I did not glue this part. But I feel like, especially since it's in the front, it's good to glue these. Extra stability. There we go. Okay, so we turn it on. We turn the base on for lighting, and it's not on, which I thought was an issue before, but it's not. I need to press the on button, and then it turns on. You can see on top the little light, and there's a light up down here as well that is lit. All right, and this is our build. let me put on the face camera and you can see it closer. Our final reveal here. See if I can put this on a little elevated surface as we talk through tips. We've already touched on some of them, but I will do a quick recap. Trying to understand where the best place to put it is. Does that work? I think so. To hold this up. There you go. Okay. So, maybe a little bit more elevated. There you go. Okay. So, overall, this was a really, really fun build in general. There are a lot of steps, and especially for the assembly, I think that's the part where I struggled with the most. After everything in the middle was basically built, putting things around and pressing it in because some things were falling. So I think that's where, oh my gosh, literally almost lost it in the last stream. It was a struggle, but I think it does take some patience to make sure that everything stays and sticks. So here are tips for you if you're considering doing this or any other build. So if you're a complete newbie, a beginner like me, I would highly recommend that you check the kit to see the website for the kit to see if it's a beginner build or an intermediate build. I didn't do that. I literally just went with the cutest one that I saw, and this was an intermediate build. That said, you can definitely still do that too. I think this was challenging as doing an intermediate build as a beginner, but it's super doable still. It just takes potentially more time and more patience. So completely up to you there. And that's my first tip. My second tip is use glue. If there are parts that are not super stable, there'll be parts where they tell you to use glue. There'll be parts that they don't tell you to use glue. I would still say if it's not super stable, my friend Camille gave me this tip, super helpful. Still use glue if you want it to be extra secure. If it's not moving, completely fine, don't worry about it. But if it's feeling a little bit wobbly, or you are like me, a little bit afraid to push in things, sometimes I push it in and it broke something else, I would just use glue, still push it in because it makes a difference to stabilize things, but use glue as an extra stabilizer. They did give glue. I found that this one wasn't super sticky, so I ended up using this one. You can really use any glue that you find sticky. This one I got from Amazon. I thought that this was really good, so make sure that you have a good glue with you, or you can try this one and see how you feel. This one worked better for me. Make sure you have materials around you. I would definitely recommend a pair of tweezers because there are some parts that are a little bit smaller, and I found that it's hard for me to pick them up, or like coordinate around them, so have tweezers with you. This also doesn't come with batteries. It's AAA batteries, so get those. Make sure you have them around for the lighting as well. And like I mentioned, the glue before, but they also give you glue if you want to use that as well. All right, next tip I would also recommend we tested this out a little bit earlier. You have some parts that are a little bit smaller, like the screws. Put a little bit of glue on top and then put your screwdriver and then try to actually screw it in, because that stabilizes it a little bit. I had some trouble getting the screws aligned, so maybe that will be helpful for you. If someone else has found a good way to work around these smaller parts, feel free to comment down below to share your knowledge on how to make this easier. And I think one of my last tips is for the smaller parts as well, or when you're pushing something in, lay it flat if you can and then push it in. I was doing it a little kind of in the air, and I found that was hard because I didn't have enough leverage to push in, and I didn't want to break anything, especially if it's a longer piece. A longer piece, to make sure that you're keeping it stable. Speaking of stable, haha. Let's see. There you go. Okay. All right. I said this earlier. I will just reiterate for the lighting. Make sure that after you do all the wiring, let's talk about that. So for lighting, you'll have wiring that you'll need to do. Basically, there'll be the top two red will go together, and then the bottom red that is connected to the inductor. Then after you twist the top two red together, then you twist the bottom red with it, and you do the same for the black wires. So the top two black wires together and the black wire that is connected to the inductor at the bottom, you twist that in with the twisted black wires as well. So basically connect the red ones together and the black ones together. Once you're all done with the wiring, you put your AAA batteries in, you turn this on, and it will not turn on here. You will need to click this button for it to actually turn on. So once you put your batteries, do your wiring, put the batteries and turn it on. Once you'll see that it's off, don't freak out. You didn't do anything wrong. Click this first and see if it turns on. If not, double check your wiring. Well, I would say double check your batteries first and then double check your wiring. All right. Would I recommend this? Absolutely yes. I overall really like this. I thought it was super fun. It's a great way to spend time and to get your mind out of everything that's going on in your day-to-day. Make sure that you dedicate time to it. I asked ChatGPT before how long this particular kit was going to take. It takes 10 hours for this one, is what ChatGPT said. I thought I could beat that estimate just because why not try? And it ended up taking me, it looks like almost 10 hours. So yeah, ChatGPT was right there. Dedicate some time to do this. It's just kind of a pastime, relaxing. So I would definitely recommend that you do one of these kits. This was super fun. I think I will definitely be building another one in the future. So yeah, stay tuned if you want to see some of those too. I do have one that we got from Japan. It's a Gengar Pocket Monster. It's a smaller build that I will do a live of making in the future, we're going to Costa Rica next week, and I might do the live the week after, so stay tuned for that if you want to see that. I also am working on editing The Artist Way week 4. It was about screen detox, or really reading deprivation is what it's called, but I made it media deprivation, so no reading, no social media, no TV, no screens, no consumption. So that was hard, but I had some really good learnings from it, and I have some tips for you as well, so check that out. That should be coming out either tomorrow or Tuesday, so definitely check that out if you're an artist that is blocked, or if you're just interested in art, or you just want to see what a social media detox or consumption detox was like if you're looking into doing one yourself. Yes, so I'm just checking the comments. Says our last thing, intermediate as a rookie, look at you. I will say I didn't do it on purpose. I just didn't check that it was an intermediate, what type of build it was, and it just turned out it was an intermediate build. Still was doable, just a little bit more challenging. So if you're looking for a challenge, yeah, why not? Try it out. Wait until she builds her computer and we get to see her play Dispatch. That is something that I will be doing next year, actually. I will be looking into building my own computer. So that'll be an experience. I've never built a computer before, so a rookie there too. It'll be a interesting, fun experience. I am learning to play video games. I haven't fully gotten into them yet, but I'm hoping that I find one that I really like. I really like puzzle games. I do like exploring games, but I get bored pretty easily. I like fighting games, but I feel overwhelmed when there are a lot of like jumping or a lot of controls that I need to learn, so that's why I haven't fully gotten into those. But maybe after I have my computer, we will do a Dispatch live and see if we can get into a video game and see what that's like. One last thing that will be coming up, actually two last things that will be coming up before I let you go. I have been doing some crochet projects, and I am going to be posting about those. I actually did a Woobo, and that's how I even learned crochet, so I will post about that experience coming up. And then I am also doing a challenge on learning how to draw. I've always wanted to learn how to draw. I cannot draw for the life of me though, so I read about this book called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain and saw some before and after pictures of how people who don't know how to draw learn with this book. So I got it. I'm starting it. I did my first pre-instruction drawings. They are very beginner. So I am going to post on that experience as I keep going, on whether it's fulfilling, whether it's helpful, and what that looks like too. So if you're interested in art and want to see that journey too, definitely stick around. So thank you for sticking around with me. I hope that you enjoyed this build, and if you like this video, please comment about your experience, what you're building, what you're curious about, any questions that you have about this, any tips that you have. Definitely leave them down below. I would love to hear your experience. And if you're interested in anything that is coming up on the channel, please subscribe and stick around, and hopefully I will see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye.